welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of the Moderately Interesting Podcast. I'm. Hang on. I'm Mitch,
And I'm Aaron.
and on this episode of the Moderately Interesting Podcast, what are we talking about today, Aaron?
We're going to be talking about the latest episode of What If?
I don't even know why I did that. I sound nothing like you.
I sound nothing like you.
I can't do a Mitch impression to save my life.
I can't do an Aaron impression to save my life. What if?
What if I had cereal for breakfast instead of nothing? What would happen?
That's a good question.
I think I would be in space right now, obviously. I'd have.
What if Kevin Feige asked you to, if he gave you the opportunity to be in Go listen to episode 20 or 21, whichever one that was.
Where we talked about the stupidest article that was probably ever written. Oh man, that was such a. I mean, I'm still upset about that one. It's still stupid.
Play the theme song.
All right, before we get a little more silly, Mitch, before we delve into the silliness in the review, we just want to take the time right now to say we are indeed dedicating episode 23 to Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
R.I.P. King. We miss you.
This has been dedicated to the King of Wakanda.
The King of Wakanda. Wakanda forever, everyone.
/ Jackie Robinson / all the other things.
All the other things. His name was Tavon, and did you ever see that movie, The Draft?
No, I didn't.
It's not a particularly great movie, but it's like one of my guilty pleasure movies because they play it on ESPN all the time. And I'll just have nothing better to do, and I'll watch it.
Interesting.
And he's in that movie. He gets drafted.
Oh, cool.
He gets drafted, not for like an army
sports
draft.
drafted, right?
Yeah, it's the NFL. I was gonna say it's not like an army draft or anything.
Yeah, you could get those confused.
Could be confusing. That's why I'm specifying right now.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that specification.
It's a NFL movie, or it's a movie about the GM for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
and they have to draft, and they're like, and they get the first pick because they make a trade, and they're trying to decide if they're going to get this quarterback or not, who may or may not be Johnny Football himself, Johnny Manziel.
So it's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's cool.
Johnny Football.
What a bust. What a bust he turned out to be.
What a bust.
Yeah.
Well, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, my friend.
Yeah, rest in peace, my friend. I'll tell you what wasn't a bust, though.
What?
This episode of What If.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little lukewarm. I thought episode 1 was fine, wasn't great, anything like that. Episode 2, I gotta come out of the gate saying that this one was fantastic.
Yep, I agree, and I felt the exact same way going into it. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. So if you haven't already seen it, guess what? Spoiler free ends right here. We're getting straight to the spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Now,
if you like spoilers and you like to have your entertainment ruined for you, then stay tuned.
Yeah, here we go. Number 1, Snape killed Dumbledore.
Yeah. Number 2, Harry's parents died.
Number 3, Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Number 4, Rey is a Palpatine.
Number 5, Bruce Willis was dead the entire time.
Number 6,
the end to what was that? The end to
Frodo destroys the ring.
Oh, okay. I guess that's a spoiler. Number 9, the movie with what was that movie called with James McAvoy and Bruce?
Split? No,
Split.
It was the one after
Split.
that. Glass.
No, I was gonna say, Split is actually a sequel to Unbreakable. There we
Ooh.
go. That was actually a big spoiler. Like super side tangent real quick. My buddy Daniel. Daniel, if you're listening, hey, I know sometimes you listen.
What's up, Danny boy?
What's up, Danny boy? D Money, as I call him.
The money?
D
Where the
Money.
money at?
Um
Okay.
anyways, he was a big Unbreakable fan. Like he really liked Unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got me to watch Unbreakable if I remember correctly. So
Yeah.
that's how it worked out. And then I went and saw Split by myself. And spoiler alert, it's a sequel to Unbreakable. You don't
It
realize that
is.
until the very end. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But my friend Daniel, he kind of now hates M. Night Shyamalan. And so I knew there was no way I was going to get him to go see that movie,
Uh-huh.
to go see Split in theaters. And so I was super cunning about this. I TiVo'd, or it's not TiVo, DVR'd I feel like that's gonna be like an old thing. Is old people are gonna call it TiVo when it's not TiVo anymore.
Yeah. You recorded something.
Yeah, I recorded Split, or not Split. I recorded Unbreakable when it came on TV. And so when I invited Daniel over to my house, and when he like walked in my door, I already had it like playing Unbreakable, and he was like, "Oh," and like he just like immediately sits down, and we basically watched like all of Unbreakable. And so it was like fresh in his head, and he's like, "Man, I love that movie." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, we should go see that new movie Split. It's M. Night Shyamalan. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, "Come on, it's really good. Like I saw it. It's good. It's good." And he was like, "Okay, fine." And then we saw Split, and then like when we got to the end, he was like, "Holy crap!" And
that was a good movie.
Yeah, and I was
All
like, "I did it."
pretty
And
good.
like I when I was like, I was like, "I jinxed you. I did it. I gotcha." I was like, "I planned the whole thing. You didn't realize it, but I manipulated you the whole entire way." And he was like,
"You trickster."
He's like, "You demon." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm a demon." So shout out to Daniel. He just moved to St. George.
Spoiler alert, Daniel just moved to St. George.
Spoiler alert for if you haven't been following the Daniel show, he moved to St. George at the end of the season.
That was number 9, and the last spoiler alert is the Los Angeles Dodgers won the 2020 World Series.
Okay, but we put an asterisk on that.
So if you haven't caught up with that,
put an asterisk on that because it wasn't a full season. Like,
oh yeah,
major asterisks on that. I mean,
all of the Los Angeles championships in the year 2020 are halfies.
Yeah, doesn't I mean, like, it's there.
They needed two major league sports teams to win in order to have a complete championship.
I can agree with, as somebody who lives in the Los Angeles area, I agree.
So they all have to share the glory.
I agree. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, now for the real last spoiler alert. This one is about T'Challa in What If.
T'Challa.
And then
you
this
mean
one,
Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha, real smooth.
That's what Nebula calls him.
Yeah. But this was a what if about T'Challa, and what if he got taken to space instead of Peter Quill.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved how right away we start off, and instead of like I'm Star-Lord, who? It's I'm Star-Lord. Like, oh my god, I love you. You're the best.
Yeah, that for me was like, yeah, that was the best part, because I knew right then that it was going to be much different.
Yeah.
Than the previous, like than Guardians of the Galaxy, because the first episode with Captain Britain felt like just a replay of the first Avenger.
Right.
Just with switched roles, and they threw Iron Man in there.
They threw Iron Man in there and a giant squid at the end.
And a giant squid that made no sense. But Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. I mean, of course, always Hail Hydra.
But back to Star-Lord T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple of differences right away for whatever reason, because T'Challa is in space. That means that Nebula wears blonde hair. I don't know if that's a wig. I don't know if that's just her hair.
I think she just has a different personality because she wasn't tortured as long as she was tortured in the other
Right. Yeah. So that's another thing too. Is somehow T'Challa convinces Thanos that he's just wrong about how to allocate resources.
He's gone straight.
Yeah, and man, it's so funny. It's like I am waiting for the memes now of like the final boss when you fight him, and then it's like Thanos in like Infinity War, and then it's like the final boss when he joins your team, and then it's gonna be Thanos in What If, because like yeah, because Thanos is basically a guardian of the galaxy. Like he's a Ravager.
Ravager,
I mean, like, yeah. Like there's no Guardians of the Galaxy, but like they're doing what the Guardians of the Galaxy do, just way better.
Yeah, because the Ravengers kind of they kind of serve as a anti-hero / just kind of like an obstacle in the Guardians of the Galaxy path to success in the main storyline. And in this one, like T'Challa didn't / Star-Lord didn't need the Guardians of the Galaxy because he basically turned the Ravengers into the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just including Thanos himself.
Yeah, so Thanos is part of it.
Nebula's like got the hots for him.
Yondu is in there. Now, is that Taserface? That's from Guardians 2?
Yeah.
I was like I don't think they ever said his name, or if they did, I missed it.
They did it, but that's who it was. But I was like, he looks familiar, but I could not figure out who it was.
I was like, that's Taserface, right? Like,
yeah. I haven't seen the second Guardians for a long time.
Oh
yeah, that's Taserface.
That's Taserface.
Definitely Taserface. But yeah, we didn't see any of the action. Oh, we saw Drax.
We saw Drax, which because like there was that kind of controversy a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, where they asked Dave Bautista, why didn't you voice Drax in the show, and he said, I was never asked. And then then Marvel came out and said, oh, we like sent it to his team, but like his team never responded or whatever, whatever thing. Yeah. And like I believe that now after seeing the role that Drax had, where it was literally like a 30-second, if not even 30 seconds,
right,
of him coming in, and I'm guessing Dave Bautista's agents like, you need him to come in for like an hour. Like, nah, like he's too busy. Like there's no money to be made in that.
Right,
like,
right. So and like they didn't none of the Guardians, like the actual Guardians, had any kind of a significant role in this one.
Yeah.
As far as like the original Guardians.
Yeah, I mean like we didn't get Groot, we didn't get Rocket. Apparently Gamora just doesn't exist.
Yeah, that one kind of threw me off. She didn't exist at all.
Yeah, there's no Gamora, which I thought was kind of weird. There's no Gamora. But yeah, and then obviously the way that it ends, we get I'm guessing that's gonna be the next episode. Episode 3 is Peter Quill and his dad.
Oh, is that a what if? Is that one of the storylines?
I think. I mean, like, because like it ends with that, right? With his dad coming down to Dairy Queen and like kidnapping him, and then the Watcher says that's a story for another time.
Okay. Yeah.
So like maybe it's not episode 3, but like maybe we're gonna get that story at some point.
Well, yeah, and there's gonna be multiple seasons, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they have a lot. I mean, they can do whatever they want with this show.
They have a literally infinite amount of stories that they can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, they can literally take the same premise as they did with episode 2, and just like instead of Peter Quill, it's Peter Parker. Like they got the wrong Peter. Like instead of like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked how it strayed away. I mean, there was some similarities with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but
right. I mean, like if you've seen Guardians and you like kind of understand the places that you're going and like the people, because like they don't set that up. They expect you to know who the collector is.
Yeah.
They expect you to know that what nowhere is and stuff like that.
But it wasn't a complete like replay of the mission
of Guardians of the Galaxy. Exactly.
You didn't even see Ronan. You heard about him at the beginning.
Yeah, you heard about him at the beginning, but he's like, I'm leaving my boss. Like, I'll leave my boss and go with you, Star-Lord. Which is funny. So real quick though, I want to talk about how I'm. So from what I saw, and you can, I want to hear what you think, Mitch.
Uh-huh.
It looks like like the story that this story takes place is a different universe, a different timeline, whatever, than the one from last week with Captain Carter.
Uh-huh. Why do you say that?
Because when Star-Lord slash T'Challa was fighting the Collector opened up his weapons, and in there was a Captain America shield.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was in the same universe as last week's, it would have to have been like a Britain shield.
Right.
So so my conclusion is that this is a different universe than the one that we were just in.
Yep, I can see that. I did notice the Captain American America shield, but I didn't really think anything of it. But yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So
because he technically doesn't exist.
Yeah,
unless they made
Yeah. So Captain. Yeah. So I mean, like, just to like again, like this could be all totally wrong because this is pure speculation. But we've got the main continuity that we have in the MCU, the sacred timeline, as we'll call it. And then we've got our first offshoot that is Captain Carter, What
Right.
If, and now we've got this one with T'Challa, sorry, and all three of these are separate timelines.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we're going to be going back to these timelines later on. Like both ended with like continuity, like to be continued stories for both stories.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems like from the trailer that we saw for this, it seems like all of the episodes, most if not all, are not going to be directly connected.
Right.
Just because of that point that you made about the shield and how the first two episodes seem to not exist in the same universe. It also seems like the rest of the episodes because we've seen like the zombie, Iron Man and Captain America, and it's like, well, that, like, if Captain America doesn't exist in that first timeline, then zombie Captain America theoretically wouldn't exist either.
Right.
So
right.
That's my prediction, is that
I think you're right.
They probably won't tie in.
I do think we're going to get a few of them that kind of loop back around at some point. Like, I do think we're going to get whatever story with Peggy,
Yeah,
I think we're going to get whatever story. Yeah, I think we're going to get whatever story with, I keep wanting to call him Star-Lord, but Peter, whatever happens with him, I think we're going to see what happens to that too. So
right. Yeah, I would love if they did that this season. Maybe they'll do it like next season, and each episode will just add on to the
continue on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So like my first thought about the episode was like, oh, this is gonna be like the Lion King, where like T'Challa's gonna realize that like this is his Timon and Pumbaa phase, where he's off with Timon and Pumbaa with the Ravengers. But like, no, it's not. It's not the Lion King. Like, I thought that was gonna be like a thing where he's gonna have to be like, he's gonna like see his like dad and be like, remember who you are,
right?
My son, the one true king. But no.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point too. And to like add on to that, like he and Peter Quill at the same time, like neither of them was that old when they got taken, so they both remember their past. Or sorry, that young. They weren't that young. They're probably 9 to maybe even 12 years old when they got picked up, and it's like they remember where they came from. Yeah, what were your overall thoughts of the episode, and then what are your hopes for the next episode?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, very positive. One of my favorite episodes that of just a Marvel show that I've seen. Just very enjoyable, very fun to see. Unique, creative, like all the reviews that I can give it. It was a lot of fun.
Right.
Man. I do just want to take this opportunity real quick. We kind of already talked about, Chadwick, but Yeah, he brought a lot to the episode this time. I just read an article about how, like the director of the show said that like when Chadwick came in, he like was like gave it a lot. He did a lot of takes. You know, he wanted it to be perfect. And like at the time, the director didn't really know why he was like putting so much effort into this. And he was like, now, obviously, I can see why he wanted to, you know, make it as great as he can. And yeah,
Right.
I think it really shows in that.
Yeah, he gave it his all in every part that he had
Mm-hmm.
from the movies I've seen.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, so you know, not to make this such a downer, but you know, it's just he's a presence that's going to be missed for Marvel, and you know,
yeah, it's a bittersweet
definitely bittersweet.
situation that we are witnessing with
Mm-hmm.
this episode.
Mm-hmm. And if any of our fans out there play the Marvel Avengers video game, they just released finally the Black Panther DLC, so you can now play as Black Panther.
Do you play that?
I don't.
Okay, I was wondering
uh,
how that was. I heard that the new DLC is really cool, but
I've heard that too. Yeah.
I've also
Uh,
heard the rest of the game is hot garbage. So
yeah. So, you know, if you play it, definitely go ahead and, or if you have it and you want to play it, definitely go ahead and give out the Black Panther a try.
let us know
Uh,
on the Twitter.
yeah. I guess they kind of delayed it a while because they wanted to do more to honor Chadwick.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Makes sense. Well, what are you looking forward to in the future?
In the future, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect here on out.
Yeah, it's kind of
Uh,
nice not having expectations at all.
yeah. I mean, because as much buildup as they want to do, they don't necessarily have to come back to that in the next episode.
Right.
Um, I am excited to see the Spider-Man one, whenever that one is.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That'll be cool.
Is that the one
Um,
where he has Doctor
yeah,
Strange's cape?
it looks like he has Doctor Strange's cape. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anything Spider-Man, I'm gonna be down for. So,
Oh yeah. I was gonna mention this at the beginning, but I forgot. Speaking of Spider-Man,
mm-hmm.
I heard somewhere that they are not doing a trailer.
I've heard so many different things. Basically, what I have heard is Sony doesn't know what they're gonna do.
Okay.
And it's very possible we're not going to get it in December. The movie
Oh
that is,
wow.
because they don't want to release it and not pull in the numbers because of COVID.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna say go get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated. I'm just saying, you know, we want to see Spider-Man this year.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that, but yeah,
yeah,
I'd heard that they weren't planning on releasing a trailer mostly because they didn't want to show anything yet.
I've heard that. Um, but yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't want to say I have a source, but I have
Hell, you're going to see Shang-Chi
yeah,
2 weeks early. You've got some kind of a source.
I'm gonna say I will say I have a kind of a light source. That's all I'm
Okay.
gonna say about that. And apparently that's Sony's big fear right now is that they can't eat like the financial loss that like Disney or Warner Brothers can by
Right.
just releasing it on theater and then releasing it on a streaming service.
Yeah.
They need those numbers, and those numbers are obviously affected by the world that we live in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Stuff and
yeah,
things.
things and stuff and things.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, but I really want to see it this year. I hope we don't get it delayed, especially like if they delay it. Man, if they delayed it, it'd be like probably be like a summer movie at that point if they delayed it.
Yeah.
Like because they wouldn't release it like in February or March. Like it would be a June or July movie again. So like we'd have to wait like 4 months for the rest of the year and then like another 6 months. Like
It's so frustrating.
that'd be so frustrating. Oh man. And it'd be just and like much like the Black Widow movie, it's just sitting there. It's done. It's ready to go.
Just
Like
waiting.
just
Waiting.
waiting. Yeah.
That was probably my biggest pet peeve about everything that's going on in the world. It's just like all the delayed movies.
Yeah.
It's like I went and saw what did we go? We went and saw something that was supposed to come out like a year earlier, and all the previews were of old movies.
Oh, really? That's funny.
And I was like, at least update your previews.
Yeah, right. Like that's okay. So, like, real quick.
Yeah.
This past week we had Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that happened because it got delayed because of COVID.
What is Free Comic Book Day?
Well, it's basically the basic idea behind Free Comic Book. It's it's you go to a comic book store, like a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
And they have like issues that are free, like they're specifically made for that day.
Okay.
And so like a lot of them are like just little a lot of them are just like prologues to like a new series coming out.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like a side adventure, like a Spider-Man one. Like if they did a Spider-Man one, it might just be like Spider-Man, like it might be like Peter Parker is trying to get to school and he misses his bus, and then like all the hijinks that ensue, like whatever. I'm just kind of making stuff up right now.
Right.
But the idea behind it is to get people to go to the brick and mortar stores, create foot traffic, and then you go there for a free comic, but maybe you leave with like 4 or 5 comics, and you bought 3 of them, or whatever, because brick and mortar comic book stores are just few and far between at this point now.
Yeah.
So it's really meant to help them by creating foot traffic. So I was talking with my friend about this because he went down and he went to Free Comic Book Day to go get the Star Wars High Republic prologue book. Yeah. Well, nothing. Yeah. There's a comic series as well.
Right.
So they did like a Free Comic Book Day for like there's a Star Wars High Republic manga that's going to be coming out.
Oh, cool.
Which is going to be really cool. Yeah. But anyways, I was talking with him about this, about how like theaters should like imitate Free Comic Book Day. And I was like, it should be like a free trailer day, where instead, like, you do it like once a year, and like you go to the movie theater, and like either the admission is free or the admission is like very much reduced or whatever.
Yeah.
Ideally free, right? But it's just like a hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of just trailers that you watch for upcoming movies, like movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
But like
if you could get like some exclusive sneak peek, like
that's what I was gonna
scenes,
say. You get like, okay, so like imagine like let's say,
but that you only get in theaters.
Right. Yeah, like let's say like it was last week, like Free Comic Book Day was, and we got like 15 minutes for Spider-Man Far From Home, like like we got like a 15-minute sneak preview of that.
Yeah.
Like heck yeah, I would go. And then
enough like obviously to get everyone excited about it.
Yeah,
basically.
Excited. Yeah, and like they don't post it on YouTube or anything like that. It's just you have to go to this. You have to go there and see it. Right. And like it's free to get in, but like obviously if you're gonna go in and they're selling Spider-Man popcorn buckets or whatever, like people are gonna buy the concessions.
You can't go to the movie theater and not buy at least one item from the concessions.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows that.
And then it's like you get like a couple trailers. You get like a couple weeks ago they were doing that thing at IMAX where they were showing like the first half an hour of Dune, or like a 30-minute sneak preview. I don't know if it was like the first 30 minutes, but like they were doing like a half an hour sneak preview. Like you could do that and then just like put in like trailers in between, like and they're like exclusive trailers that are only for free movie day or whatever, movie day, whatever you want to call it.
I think you need to buy an AMC franchise.
Yeah, maybe, huh?
Because it's probably dependent on locations.
Well, like the thing is like it wouldn't just be a franchise, right? Like I mean, like it would be like Regal and like AMC goes to the studios and they go, look, like whether we like it or not, like we need each other. like you guys think you can do it without us, and like but like the numbers kind of indicate you kind of can. Yeah. But for now at least you need us. And really, like how hard would it be for you to make a 15-minute sneak preview and then send it to us? Like that, like minimal effort, like maximum hype and stuff.
All you need to do is throw the studio tag on the front, do a fade in and a fade out with all of your edited material, which is probably already done.
Right.
Especially right now with all the delayed movies.
So
you got plenty of footage.
You got plenty of footage, right? But then whatever the Halloween horror movies are coming out, like release it like right now in August, September, and then you're like,
get people hyped for that stuff.
I'm totally gonna go see that on Halloween, right? Not
they could dedicate one theater room for it and just do like every half hour.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes in. 20 minutes of previews is perfect.
Well, my thing is like it's not just 20 minutes. It's like a mini movie. So you're in there for like an hour 10 minutes, and you're getting like a dozen trailers and then like two maybe three like sneak previews.
Right.
It's got to
be enough. Like it can't be just like the trailers. It needs to be special things that are only there.
Right. Like my thing is like they're all exclusive trailers.
Right.
So like these trailers are not coming to YouTube, or if they are, they're not coming for like weeks or a month later or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, like I really want to the new Transformers trailer, like it's only in here for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like whatever. But like like at Disneyland, for example, they were doing like things where like they were showing like the first 15 minutes of Pirates of the Caribbean and like the first 12 minutes of like Aladdin. Like they can just take that and then just put it in a theater, like I mean obviously those movies are out already, you can just go see those movies, but like it's that same idea.
Yeah, how many of those people went and watched those movies?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I forgot how good this was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watched it,
like, but like if it's a good movie, then like it's just free publicity for you essentially to get these people in and see it. And if you're a movie chain, then yeah, like if you're Regal or AMC, like you're like, oh sweet, like this is just like people coming in, they're buying concessions, they're leaving, minimal
and that
effort.
can only help.
Yeah, and that's minimal effort on both of their parts, really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless you show too much of your movie, it's only going to help you.
Right, but like I think at the same time is like the studios would be like, well, we know that this movie's not going to be like, we're not going to show Suicide Squad, or we're going to show The Suicide Squad. Just as an example, like we're not going to show like our bad movies. We're going to show our movies that we think people are good and people are genuinely going to like. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I was just having this idea. I had this conversation the other day, and
something that came to mind, and I'll be short with this because I know you got to go. But Sanderson, when he comes out with books, he puts his chapters, the first chapters of his books, on his website for people to read.
Yeah, and that's like
perfect.
Kindle does that too. Like Amazon does that with their Kindle.
Yeah,
where you can just download a sample, and it's not even like. It's like the first like 50 pages or something. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, see if you like it.
Yeah, and
but also get you hyped first, like introduced to something without having to go buy the book.
Right, and I was gonna say it is crazily effective.
Yeah.
Like usually when I try a sample, I mean 8-9 times out of 10 I will go then either buy the Kindle or buy the actual book, because like sometimes it just ends in the middle of a chapter and I'm like, no, I gotta know what happens. Like.
I need more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Listeners, if any of you need to hire a well-paid marketer, Aaron's your guy.
I guess so. I'm right here for you.
Well, good, man. Yeah, right. I guess we'll end there, but...
So next week we're gonna do our Well of Ascension review, I think, right?
Yes.
Maybe
we should probably record that in the next few days.
Okay.
And then release that.
And then
we'll Monday or Tuesday.
We'll do Go Cluck Yourself again, because we're talking about that.
Should we do Go Cluck Yourself with?
Yeah.
Well of Ascension.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Marissa could be there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I had a okay. And then this is kind of gonna be a teaser for what I want to do. So I think we'll do, like kind of do Go Collect Yourself, Well of Ascension, and then we'll do like another part to it too. So Well of Ascension won't take up the whole thing, and that is like you're in charge of creating a cinematic universe. Okay. And you can pick any IP. What do you pick?
Any IP?
Yeah.
What's IP?
Intellectual property.
Okay.
So like obviously like you can't be like, well, Marvel, because Marvel already exists, or like DCR. So it's like one that hasn't already existed.
I could choose one that does exist in another form, not in a cinematic form though.
Well, like you're making a cinematic universe
for something. So I could say like Power Rangers.
Yeah, you could be like Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donkey Kong. Yeah, like whatever.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. You can do a like a Nintendo cinematic universe where you're just like, yeah, we've got Mario, we got Donkey Kong, we got Link. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just like go ahead and like, and if Marissa wants to get on that too, absolutely. What like a Barbie? I mean, that might be sexist. I immediately said Marissa and then Barbie. I apologize.
She's also 28 years old.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah. I'm literally just kind of like thinking 100 miles a minute right now.
No worries.
But
we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Or on the next episode.
Yeah, on the next episode of the Mildly Interesting Podcast.
That's what you can expect.
That's what you can expect. So next week we'll do Go Collect Yourself, Well of Ascension, and So You Want to Build a Cinematic Universe, eh?
Uh-huh. So you want to be a hero, kid.
Wow. Whoop-de-doo.
Perfect.
Danny DeVito.
Well, I look forward to it.
All right, man. That is what we're going to do next time, guys. If that sounds interesting to you, drop a like, leave that review, comment.
Subscribe.
Hire Mitch and I as your marketing directors, apparently.
Forgot to do a sponsor this week.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Who's our sponsor this week, Mitch?
This episode is brought to you by Tesla.
Okay.
Where your boss isn't just Elon Musk, he's also Iron Man.
I just hear your dog just slurping water.
Drinking water.
Slurping it down. This week's episode is brought to you by Mitch's dog.
by Ralph.
By Ralph.
And Elvis. They are both drinking. That's why it's so loud, is because there's two of them drinking at the same time.
What do I usually say? Don't forget to tip your lifeguards. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.